Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Reproduction in flowering plants. Why do plants produce flowering? Flowering plants do not produce flowers to make the place beautiful. They produce flowers for reproduction. Why do plants need to reproduce? Living things can have young or offspring. Being able to reproduce is one of the characteristics of living things. Why do living things need to reproduce? Imagine what would happen if rice plants were unable to reproduce. There would come a time when there would be no rice plants left. Living things reproduce so that their own kind will continue to exist. Otherwise, they will die out or become extinct. The reproduction of flowering plants from seeds involves the processes of pollination, fertilization, seed production, seed dispersal and germination. This diagram shows the order in which these processes occur. Pollination, fertilization, seed production, seed dispersal, germination, production of flowering plants from seeds. What are the parts of a flower? Flowers are the reproductive parts of flowering plants. Observe some flowers. What are the most colorful and attractive parts of most flowers? What other parts are there besides these colorful and attractive parts? Hibiscus flower. What are the parts of a flower? Flowers are the reproductive parts of flowering plants. Observe some flowers. What are the most colorful and attractive parts of most flowers? What other parts are there besides these colorful and attractive parts? Hibiscus flower, peacock flower, golden trumpet flower. Let us study this diagram to find out about the parts of a flower. The petals surround the male and female parts of the flower. The male part of the flower, called the stamen, consists of the anther and filament. The petals of some flowers may be brightly colored, while those of other flowers cannot be clearly seen or are absent. Stamen or male part of the flower. The anther is at the tip of the filament. It contains pollen grains. The pollen grains contain male reproductive cells. A cell is a basic unit of a living thing. The filament is a thin stalk which holds up the anther. Parts of a flower. The female part of the flower, called the pistil, consists of the stigma, style and ovary. The stigma is at the tip of the style. The style is a long stalk which holds up the stigma. The ovary has one or more ovules. Each ovule contains a female reproductive cell called an egg or an ovum. Pistil or female part of the flower.
In most flowering plants such as the hibiscus and lily plants, the male and female parts are found in the same flower. However, in some flowering plants such as the maize and pumpkin plants, the male and female parts are found in separate flowers. Pumpkin flower with male parts. Pumpkin flower with female parts. Observe the flowers of some plants. Which flowers contain both male and female parts? Which flowers do not? Another part of the flower is the sepals. The sepals surround and protect the flower when it is in the bud stage. The petals and sepals look very different in some flowers, but look similar in other flowers. Can you tell the petals and sepals apart in the orchid flower? Rose flower. Orchid flower. Going further. Can you tell whether the plant on the right is a flowering plant? When we do not see flowers on a plant, it does not mean that it is a non-flowering plant. For example, young flowering plants are not mature enough to bear flowers. This young papaya plant will produce flowers when it is mature enough. Even adult plants do not bear flowers all the time. They produce flowers when conditions are right, for example, when the weather is warm enough. These cherry blossom trees bloom during spring when the weather starts to warm up. Some flowering plants bear flowers only once in their lives. They may be mistaken for non-flowering plants because we do not see flowers on them most of the time. This tally-pot palm tree can live up to 80 years. It flowers only once and will die after producing fruit.